Hello, good day. So let's continue our lesson with the application letter, lesson 2. Okay. So what do you think are the masts, of an application letter for you to stand out? So this lesson will help you know what you must learn and what must you include in your job application letter. So, how to write an application letter? So, an application letter is a standalone document you submit to a potential employer to express your interest in an open position. The job application letter explains who you are as a professional and an individual. The letter should highlight your achievements and skills, helping to get the attention of the hiring manager or recruiter responsible for reviewing applications. When written well, this letter explains to the reader why they should ask you in for an interview and highlights the key qualifications that make you a fit for the role. Okay. So it is very important, because it will showcase how your unique combination of skills and experience meet the key requirements of the job description. And if the hiring manager, after deliberating, reviewing your applications, they might uh, say yes to you for a job interview. So it's your chance to show a clear link between your knowledge, experience, and abilities and the needs of the employer. So a job application letter can impress a potential employer and set you apart from other applicants. In your letter, you may also want to show your familiarity with the company to which you are applying. You can talk about how your professional goals and aspirations align with the company's goals. It is important to use your job application letter to showcase aspects of your personality. So when writing an application letter for a job, follow these steps, to make sure you include information about yourself and your professional experience that will appeal to a hiring manager. So we have nine, must includes and must you remember in writing an application letter. Okay, isa-isahin natin sila. Okay. First, review information about the company and position. So it's best to write a new application letter for each position you are applying for. So you can include pertinent details and show your interest in the particular open role. Spend some time reviewing the company information, which you can likely to find on the website, as well as the position listing. Compare your qualifications and experience with the list of skills in that posting. You may also want to think about specific experiences that have prepared you for the role, such as leading a team or managing a major event. So in here, the more you can help the hiring manager to do his job, the better your chances of getting an interview. So when you customize your cover letter, your application letter to the specific role you are applying, it will easy, it will let the hiring manager know exactly what position you are applying for, and you will make their job easier. And of course, what you feel makes you different than the other candidates, and you will make their job a lot easier. Next, use a professional format. So a job application letter should be more professional than a thank you card or an email to a co-worker or friend. The alignment of the document should include single spacing, 1-inch margins, and left alignment. It's best to use a professional and traditional font such as Times New Roman in size from 10 to 12 points. Try to keep your job application letter to one page. When a hiring manager reviews your job application letter, they will get their first impression of you as a potential employee. So take time, to format it professionally and keep it concise. So, just like professional letters, it is usually use a block format, meaning, all the parts, of the letter are left aligned, justified left aligned. So, meaning the contents are left justified and the copy is single spacing. You then can separate paragraphs with a double space. And of course, choose the right font. Times New Roman is always a safe font to use. But there are other options, such as Arial or Calibri, that are also acceptable. Third step is create the heading. Use a formal business heading for your job application letter. The heading should include your name and contact information, date, company name, and address. Suppose you send your job application letter via email. In that case, you can eliminate your name and contact information from the header, and put it at the bottom of the email after the signature instead. Okay. So creating the heading, it should always include your name and contact info, and the date, company name, and address. So if your letter or job application will be sent via email, eliminate your name from the header and put it at the bottom of the email after the signature instead. Next is create the heading. So example header, your name, your physical address, your phone number, your email address, date, name of the hiring manager or supervisor, title of the hiring manager, company name, company physical address. So by including a professional and detailed heading, you can make it easier for the hiring manager to follow up with you regarding the position. Of course, you need to include your address yourself. Fourth, address the letter to the hiring manager. So in your research, try to find the person's name reviewing applications for that job or the hiring manager. Address your letter to this person with a common business greeting such as Dear Mr. or Miss and their last name. If you are not sure of the name or gender of the individual reviewing your application, you can use the generic to whom it may concern or Dear Hiring Manager or Dear Mr. or Miss, then their last name. Okay. Next. Fifth, open the letter by describing your interest. So in the first paragraph of your letter, mention the job title you're applying for and where you saw the position posting. Include your interest in the role and briefly state the main experience or qualification that makes you a good fit. So this section will draw in the hiring manager as the reader of your application letter. So it is important to appeal to that person quickly and succinctly. So example, I saw the posting for the marketing intern role on my university's online job board, and I am very interested in the role. I am in my final year of earning my bachelor's degree in marketing with a minor in communications. So I fill my marketing with a minor in communications. So I feel my educational experience has prepared me to work in fast-paced marketing department like the one within your organization. Okay. So focus on the company history, A popular angle when answering this question is to highlight your interest in the company due to its reputation, history, or innovation within the is industry. So this shows that you are involved, you want to be involved in the company's growth, understand its current position, and want to be part of that journey. Next, outline your experience and qualifications. So the next few paragraphs of your letter should highlight your experience, qualifications, and skills, positioned in a way that aligns with the company's goals and missions. For example, suppose you are applying for a job with a non-profit organization that provides educational opportunities to underserved community members. In that case, you could underserved. In that case, you could talk about your experience with nonprofit organizations or educational offerings. Since a job application letter should stand on its own without a resume, it's helpful to include details about your experience related to the position you're applying for. Okay. So your letter of qualification should include highlights of most relevant skills and experiences related specifically to the job. So specific examples to clearly demonstrate expertise level and your past responsibilities. So your descriptions should be clear, of how the education and your past experience relates to the position duties. And you can add additional information to supplement or expand on the information provided in the resume. Next, include aspects of your personality. As you're writing your job application consider how you can incorporate aspects of your personality. So a friendly and engaging letter is likely to appeal to the reader, especially when they can get an idea of how well you might fit the team. No? So if you make your personality stand out in your letter, the hiring manager will more likely give your application a second look. No? Of course, there is also such a thing as putting too much personality in your letter. So you want to remain professional and focus on what makes you an ideal candidate. So find the right balance between showing your personality and being a professional in your cover letter, in your application letter. And definitely, you will be on your way to your job interview. So for example, in the situation mentioned above, explain that you are good at connecting with children or valuing community spirit in your letter. Next, express appreciation. Before you sign off on your letter, express your appreciation to the hiring manager for reviewing your letter and considering you for the position. So the hiring manager is taking time out of their day to read what you have written. So expressing your gratitude for the time spent is a polite and professional way to close the document. For example, I appreciate the time you have taken to review my application letter. Since you likely received several applications and letters for this open position, I am extremely grateful for the time you have spent reading about me and what would make me a good fit for this role. Okay. So give a few specific details, You could include things that the person did, and that that are very useful. Or you can give an example, So those details, can show the person or can show the hiring manager, that you are corresponding with and that you were paying attention to their efforts. Okay. Next, close the letter. Many people use sincerely or best to close the letter, although any professional sign-off is fine to include. So the final line of the letter should be your full name. If you submit a hard copy of the letter, include your signature above your typed name. When submitting an application letter via email, and you should include your contact information beneath your name rather than including it in the header. Okay. So make sure to offer thanks for their time and consideration and choose a professional closing salutation. So such as sincerely, best, and best regards or thank you for your consideration. So avoid overly familiar phrases like yours, cheers, or take care. So what do you think is the importance of having a good application letter? So I'll be giving you some tips, 5 tips that will help you. So job application tips. When preparing a job application letter, follow these tips to ensure your letter includes the information a hiring manager needs. So it is detailed, It is detailed regarding your skills and training, work experience and education, and most importantly, the accomplishments you have made with past employers. It should also inform, the employer of your career, objective, or the job you are seeking, and communicate in a concise manner the benefits you will bring to the job if you are hired. So first, emphasize your skills, and abilities. An application letter is your opportunity to sell yourself as an excellent candidate for the open position. That's why you must include specific examples of situations in which you applied your experience, abilities, and skills to benefit the organization. So it is also helpful to include data that supports your claims. From the title itself, emphasize your skills and abilities and make sure it is linked or connected to the job you are applying. Next, stay concise. Although it may be tempting to include detailed information about yourself, it is important to be concise. If a hiring manager receives a letter that is multiple pages, they may not take the time to read it. So, a brief letter is more manageable and appealing. Okay. So, kaya dahil nga gusto mong magpa-impress sa hiring manager, sumobra naman na, sobrang detailed na. So, be concise, be brief. Next, proofread the letter. Since this letter serves as your first impression, you want to make sure it is a positive as possible. So ensure your letter does not have grammatical or spelling errors to avoid a potentially negative first impression. So to proofread means to read a text carefully, to check it for errors and general tone. That's why you should always proofread, your application letter before sending it. So the most important thing when you proofreading any document is to read the text aloud. Then print the letter rather than read it on your computer screen. So you can easily find errors if meron, find kung sa grammar, naman yun, mas madali. And you can kapag printed, syempre you can highlight kung alin doon yung mali. Next, review the job listing keywords. So most job postings will include certain skills and abilities that the hiring manager and supervisor want applicants to possess. So including these keywords in your application letter helps to show the person reviewing it you would be a good fit in the specific role. So your letter, keywords should include specific job requirements, including your skills, competencies, relevant credentials, and previous positions and employers. So essentially, keywords should be words that at a first glance will show the hiring manager that you are a good fit for the job. Next, send a letter for every position to which you apply. So unless a job posting specifically states not to send an application letter, it is smart to send one for each job to which you apply. So this letter offers the opportunity for a potential employer to learn more about you and gives you the chance to set yourself apart from other applicants. So send a letter for every position to which you apply. So if you know the company is hiring but hasn't advertised the position, write a traditional application letter expressing your interest in the open position at the company. So be sure to specifically relate your qualifications for the job. So, what can you say, with when applying for any position? So be sure to explain why you are qualified for both jobs. Consider writing one paragraph mentioning your skills and experiences for one job, and another paragraph for the other job. Another option if the two jobs are related is to list your skills and experience that apply to both jobs. So here is a job application letter template. So consider this following template when planning your job application letter. So the heading, the date, this is the greeting, the name of your hiring manager, address, ito, greeting or salutation, the body of the letter, the body outline where you saw the job posting and express your interest in working in this role, discuss some of your qualifications, describe your past experience, express your appreciation, so dito na is closing and then closing. It can be sincerely, formal, and best, less formal. Then signature and then printed name. Okay. So, job application letter, so use this sample job application letter to help inspire you to write your own. Medyo baka malabo rito sa video, so nasa module naman po ito. Okay. So, that's the end of lesson 2 in our module. Thank you for listening.